Oh shit, wrong door. Hello everyone, my name is Horsen and today's game is perfect for Halloween and soon you will find out why. Also, we will take a tour to a place where everyone, regardless of age and gender, becomes a psychopath. We will explore what drives an ordinary human being to commit acts of pure, indisputable evil. However, before you even begin playing this game, you must ask yourself one vital question. Would you take pleasure from torturing and murdering a regular middle-class citizens for no materialistic gain at all, but only to nurture your growing sense of misanthropy? If the answer is yes, then you have spent a lot of time playing The Sims 2 and Ghostmaster is a perfect game for you. How many of you remember playing The Sims only to furnish your house, go to work, or start family? And how many of you remember the basement artist goblin, the removal of a ladder from a swimming pool, or just role-playing as a communist government by enforcing on everyone a zero-calorie diet? Let's be honest, most of you use this game to rediscover the benefits of unpaid and mandatory labor, or to cultivate your serial killer instincts by finding out the most brutal ways to remove the undesired Sims from your family. Ghostmaster is a mirror to The Sims. In this game, the roles are reversed. You take control of the ghosts of the Sims that have been murdered and help them take revenge on the living. But what even is a Ghostmaster? Besides being a sophisticated synonym for Satan, it's a title that gives you an ability to summon and command abhorrent creatures, such as ghosts, spiders, apparitions, furies, and the most gruesome of them all, women. As a Ghostmaster, you take on a role of a daddy, taking these abominations on trips, giving them lots of love, buying them new powers and spending time together will let them perform new tricks. Levels are mostly not connected to each other and there isn't much story to the overall game. At least, that's what it looks like at the first glance. The primary goal of this game is to spit in God's face. You will work towards taking the spawns of evil into heaven, where they will rally angels and feed them disgusting, heretic ideas. Their plan is to make them believe that they are valued individuals and deserve to have their voices heard. They will tell them that they don't have to agree to every bestiality that they are served, just because it comes from the god. This will pressure God into adopting democracy. In the end, the heavens and the hell will be peacefully merged together. Remember that evil takes over gradually and very subtly, and evil is nothing more or less than a set of rules agreed to by a bunch of people. At least, this is what I think that happens after they take in by the light. This game has no real narrative at all. So how do you even summon these ghosts? You use plasma, which you obtain from causing consecutive anxiety attacks in humans. Each human has a red meter which shows you exactly how scared they are. The more scared they become, the more plasma you get. Your goal is to fill to the maximum. In other words, continuously bend their psyche until it irreversibly snaps and they run off to the woods where they are eaten by wolves. The game surprisingly puts a twist on this mechanic, and sometimes you will be doing everything in your power to not scare people away. Thanks to that, the game doesn't get repetitive and won't bore you after an hour of play. There are many things to keep you from boredom, like this cinematic camera or even a POV. I wonder what will happen when I use a POV on someone asleep.
Sometimes life is cock and ball torture. Without the cock and balls.
Now it is time for the obligatory information dump about things you don't care about, but will make me look more professional and prolong this video. The game was made by Sick Puppies and International Hobo. It was published by Empire Interactive. They released this product in 2003. For some reason, Sick Puppies had decided to outsource game design, story and script writing to International Hobo. To everyone's surprise, this turned out to be such unprecedented success that this was their last game ever made, because the studio closed soon after the financial failure of the game. Okay, you know what? Let's change the scenery. Okay, where were we? So you're all excited. You want to lose reins of your humanity and temporarily become a sadist. You open up the game and you are slapped in the face with a tutorial where the female narrator voice is not optional.
Welcome to the mortal realms, where all your haunting will take place, you failure.
Thankfully, your Sigma status can be retained and you can turn off the tutorial completely. I strongly recommend you to do so. Controls aren't that difficult to make out, and actually discovering how to play this game on your own is much more satisfying. I am also factually incorrect. If you have listened to me, good luck figuring out how this game works. I mean, look at this screen. What do you see? A bunch of icons that represent your ghosts, humans, and a bar. You must be having a ton of questions. How do you even activate these ghosts? Why can I place them only in specific locations? Why aren't these ghosts doing anything? Why is a carpet considered emotional? Who the hell is scared of flowers? Are these Ghostbusters? Why is Dan Aykroyd making skull vodka? Why are video games not fun anymore? How can I re-spark joy in my life? Why do I spend 12 hours in the bed? Where is my wife? As you might have noticed, this game is in a stunning 3D. Just like in Heroes 5, you can move your camera around and switch between different levels. It's important, because most of the powers work on just that level or only in the specific room. You need to know this if you want to be efficient and quickly earn more plasma. Pro tip: don't leave this gigantic spider in an empty room to which nobody ever goes into. Place it in a main hallway where it can send after someone a legion of spiders that can completely cover an adult human. Involuntary urination guaranteed, or you get your money back. By the way, did you know that you don't have to chase people off in order to complete a mission? Every human has 3 meters. The red one you already know, the blue one that doesn't matter because it's useless, and the yellow one. Now that's where the fun begins. It's called madness, and once you feel it to the breaking point, you will turn that human into an actual lunatic, able only to mutter to himself,
"You wanna make some of that YouTube money, kid?"
LOL! I need intensive therapy.
For every human turned crazy, you will get extra plasma, so I thoroughly recommend maxing this stat whenever you can. During the game, you will be accompanied by music that's not really music. Most of the time during your innocent social experiments, there isn't an actual soundtrack being played, but a random sound from a set of hundreds, and the music reacts to what happens in the game. It's miraculous that somehow it can form a coherent background music that doesn't sound out of place and is different every time you play. Possibly it's the best thing about this game, but still, the game has an actual soundtrack. Whenever the hunting begins, you are welcomed with a song that's a relaxing choir, sounding almost like you're experiencing a couple of angels whispering to your ear ASMR and simultaneously having a thigh massage with a very happy ending. And whenever you are almost done with the level, the music goes into overdrive and truly makes you feel like the brain behind the entire operation, or a 2016 era YouTuber where there were precious beings such as child abduction compilation, social experiment, eating Nutella out of toilet, or my favorite, escaping the asylum and tricking people into thinking that I'm a fully socialized human and not a menace to society. The music is a perfect addition to the game, but remember to never zoom in too closely while playing the game, unless you enjoy abruptly returning your half-digested food. When you look at details in this game, you realize that it actually does look horrifying, but for all the wrong reasons. Here's an advice: play the game fully zoomed out, preferably from the other side of the room, just as it was intended to be seen. These were the prettiest graphics when it came out, and now in the age of an actual photorealism and real-time ray tracing in games, it looks like a placeholder for the real graphics. The locations aren't good either. It's a bunch of bland houses and sometimes a not interesting swamp. But it's not all that bad though. The style is at least somewhat consistent and it has that The Sims stylistics, and at least the things that you comment are rather various in their design. There are inbred Baby Yoda, a chronic pyrocynical viewer, hamster but electric, guy from Walmart at 3 AM, a resurrected corpse of an Indian that was hit by a cannonball, Charmander, and Pyro...
My father laughed from his jail cell.
Okay, I swear, this was the last pyrocynical. As you see, there's a wide range of their looks, all from the cute animated Japanese rocks that spawn flowers and spread love, to the sleep demons that rip themselves in half with blood gushing out of their falling intestines. Usually, it makes people faint in terror, just like this girl. I wonder what she is dreaming of. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do this after all. So, these ghosts are great. However, there's a catch. There's a bunch of available ghosts in the game, but you can slash that number in half. 50% of them are a 2010 League of Legends skin. Take a look at these two air spirits. Can you spot any difference at all other than the one of them falls under the lolly category and the other into futa? Oh, well, you might say that they have different powers, and you would be correct. They share only 9 powers. And technically one other power is enough to be called different. It happens for every category. It either happened because their creative team wasn't that creative, or because they ran out of the time and money, so they had to fill this half-done game with some extra content. The game wants to trick you into believing that the more terrifying a creature is, the more it costs to operate, but in return generates more plasma. This is simply wrong. The ghosts are grouped by the amount of plasma they use up. It ranges from sprites that use just a little bit to the horrors that gobble up hundreds of it. It should mean that horrors are the best at generating terror for Red Bar, right? Well, let's do a comparison. These are Wraiths from the horror category and these are Gremlins from the sprites category. They both have a spell called Surge that works exactly the same, regardless of who uses it. This is what it does. Practically, I just doubled my plasma, and for the punchline, to use Surge on Gremlin, it costs 40 plasma, and to use it on Wraith, it costs 200. Amazing balance. Do not fall for the propaganda. Don't choose the biggest and the scariest ghosts that want all of your plasma. Instead, choose the shitlings that can do the same work for 1/10 of the price. They may not be as educated or qualified as the more expensive ones, but in the end, it's all about money and min-maxing. And who cares that they're very young? After all, if the results are the same, why pay more? Right, Nestle? Right. I should explain a bit more on how do you play this game. To summon the ghosts, you have to bind them to a specific spot to which they're compatible with. For example, dogs like to shit in your backyard, so bind dog's ghost to the outside. Old people don't have that many grains of sand left in their hourglass, so prepare them ahead of time and bind them to a hospital bed. Alien creatures are binded to murder so that they can commit more murder. Women are binded to vacuum cleaners. Okay, your turn. So where would you put this ghost of a chicken whose ultimate power is to make blood flow out of every cranny? Correct. To a teenage girl. Some of these binding spots are completely insane and nonsensical, but you will grow to love them. Later in the game, you gain ability to spawn gift boxes to which any ghost can be binded and even moved around the map. The last few levels can get complicated because of this, but I don't want to ruin the surprise. To unlock new abilities for the ghosts, you have to purchase them. That's right, this game has a monetary system. You earn cash after completing the level. The faster, the bigger pay. Unfortunately, new powers don't come cheap, but don't you worry, I have a solution. It's called Cheat Engine and the value is 4 bytes. There is absolutely no reason to replay the levels to grind for the money like it's a mobile game, and there is also no reason to feel bad about it. After all, we play games to have fun, right? You really should aim to unlock all of the powers immediately, because they can be earth-shattering. Literally. You can buy an earthquake power for the animated Feng Shui garden, which affects every room on the floor, or purchase the gift box ability for another ghost and have 2 of them. Now, they've also added something weird, a domestication mechanic. Every ghost on top of powers has a command option, so you can do things like to command someone to not use any abilities unless there's a human in the room. Sounds good? Sure, let me have it. But they didn't stop here. Every ghost you obtain starts as wild and has only few of the commands. Their full potential unlocks only when you constantly play with them. So what's the point of all the extra ghosts when once you figure out the team that can complete every level? Or why would I want to try out a freshly unlocked ghost if he has no command and just a couple of powers? The designer behind this was probably injecting too much of plasma into his veins, because this mechanic is ridiculous. Surely everything I have explained was crystal clear and requires no further explanation. However, if you feel overwhelmed by the game at any point, do not be afraid to peek into the manual that is 272 pages long. I'm so very glad that the creators of this thing didn't miss a single detail and even included a mathematical function. Now, I'd love to tell you exactly what's in this manual, but even my ADHD medication has its limits. So if you really want to know what's inside, just go and find out on your own. Almost every level has a creature that you can recruit if you do an errand for them. Some of them practically unlock themselves, some are a massive pain in the ass because you're on the mercy of the AI, and some require an actual ritual to be performed. First, you must locate the ghost, listen to their little story and do whatever they ask of you. Usually it's about consuming souls of the humans, but there are a few nice requests too. This ex-alive human being was so dedicated to the grind that she couldn't rest peacefully because she didn't manage to sell her last batch of literal snake oil. Thankfully, the solution is quite simple. Use her summoning power to make people come to her location and purchase the rejuvenating cream. And congratulations! Now you own a brand new and a very bland ghost that you'll never use, but you'll continue unlocking them because there are a few good ones and the game becomes a shit show with the basic ones. Unfortunately, it's not that easy most of the time. To unlock some of these, you need to open your third eye just so you can realize that there is a ghost to be unlocked at all. I can't even say if this is a feature or a very annoying bug. There are a few cases of ghosts that won't appear as a silhouette in the menu, so you won't even know that there's something to look for. If you want to know on which map they appear and what you need to do to reveal them, go read the 300 pages manual. This, however, is not even that hard in comparison to the gameplay, because of figuring out which ghosts you need to bring with you and wrestling with the AI. Game practically forces you to repeat levels until you understand what it wants from you. Like, how was I supposed to know that I had to offer blood for the blood god by combining forces of two ghosts which made it rain and then turn all of the rainwater into blood? If you possess the meta knowledge, the AI cooperates with you and stars are aligned, the level can be finished in about few minutes. However, if you have no idea what you're doing, the AI becomes self-aware and purposely grifts you, then you can spend 30 minutes just so you can fail in the end. It's exactly what has happened to me, and it's time that I can never recover. All levels have a main objective which you need to fulfill to progress, but they're not enough, so you will complete all of the optional ones as well. Unfortunately, often you will have to influence people to perform certain activities. For example, in an early stage of the game, you are given a task to help people living in the house discover skeletons and report them to the police. Your job is to guide these humans to where you need them and when you need them. There are 3 skeletons, but once 2 are found, the level ends. Sometimes it's not enough time to unlock every ghost, so you will have to dynamically move ghosts around and scare people away just a little, enough to make them come back. Just think of this like of a very toxic relationship. Remember the gift boxes? Well, they're very useful, but they have one major flaw. They require a human to pick them up. Too bad that usually these half-brains pick them up and go outside for a sightseeing stroll around the map, and takes so much time that these gift boxes despawn, just so another one can be spawned and cycle repeated endlessly. It's even more depressing that you absolutely have to use this power in the last chapter of the game because of these royalty-free Ghostbusters and their little force fields. They are very unpredictable. Sometimes they'll get scared easily and run off, and sometimes they don't care and set the power to maximum on their vacuum cleaner and suck your ghost into a dust bag. When they do that, you will be unable to use that ghost for the remainder of the map. I wish their behavior was more consistent, but we can't always have good things in our lives. Alongside them, there are also priests and witches that can do the same thing, but they are so rare that they're not much of an obstacle at all. Now for the final boss of the game, which was in DLC, because remember that they shipped an unfinished game. This is the giant cookie monster which Shrek 2 will shamelessly copy 1 year later. If you don't get rid of it quickly, it will capture all of your ghosts. Alright, I'm done. It's so hard to breathe in this. Let me just... Ah yeah, much better. Short version. Game good, go play. Long version. I came back to this game expecting to enjoy myself and left it with a changed worldview. Replaying this game for the first time in 15 years was a nostalgia bukkake. Constant stream of memories and fun hitting me from every direction. Truly, I was having that moment when you reach out with your thoughts to your childhood and start remembering warm memories. Your first time riding a bike on your own, hanging out with friends, first kiss, unconscious alcoholic father lying in his vomit. Ah, great memories. If I had a chance to forget this game and replay it again for the first time, I would take it. Why shouldn't I? Ghostmaster holds up even without a nostalgia boner. There are good reasons to give this one a go. It's a solid enough game to spend a couple of fun evenings with, and it's a perfect game for Halloween. It's full of soul, it costs pennies even without a sale, and even though it's very rough, I would still call this one a gem worth playing. A good remaster would sell like hotcakes, and a Ghostmaster 2 would be really popular had it been done right. Did you know that the game has alternative ways to achieve your goals? In this level, the ghost stack on the roof can be freed just by yourself. Usually it's a complicated process that requires a lot of work, but if you place an earth elemental and use an earthquake power, you can skip all of this. There are other fun tidbits like this that you will have to uncover on your own if you aren't afraid to experiment. Playing Ghostmaster can be compared to asking your friend trick questions. At first, it's very fun. He enjoys the clever moments and genuinely wants more. The problem begins when you repeat the same questions to others and force your friend to be there and listen to the same "What can be broken but never held? A promise." For a fifth time. This friend doesn't laugh anymore. This friend wants to turn you into a mobile glory hole for a rainforest. In other words, it's important to moderate the doses of this game and skip the bullshit whenever possible. Exploit the game whenever you can. Use cheat engine and follow guides. There is no shame in that. Domestication and money are mechanics that ruin variation. Why would I want to spend time and money on new ghosts if my old ones already have more purchase powers and can carry out more orders? There is no reason at all to even try out the other ghosts from the same subcategory. I really don't know what the hell were they thinking while designing this. Perhaps I should give this game some slack. After all, it's older than everyone watching this video. The sad thing with old age is that it brings problems. Just like a human when he turns 30 and becomes a boomer that has to take painkiller pills for his back pain, this game also suffered due to its age. First, get your copy from GOG or Steam. I didn't try the GOG version, so I will explain my adventures with the Steam version. My game didn't boot, even though it was purchased directly from Steam. It spit out some errors, but because I played a lot of Bethesda games, it didn't bother me that much. I ventured onto the internet to find a solution, and what I found was a weird.exe file on a dodgy website. I prayed to a couple of gods, clicked execute, and hoped that it wasn't a crypto miner or a rat. Surprisingly, the game booted up and PC still worked. Now I had to exit the game, find a config file, and set the display resolution to whatever I needed. At least the resolution change worked very well, and I was able to play in 21:9 without any major issues. In this regard, it's better than even modern games today. I'm looking at you, Elden Ring. Once you finish the game, you might ask yourself, what was all of that for? What have I learned from this game? Have I really ruined the lives for everyone in a virtual city just for my very own sadistic pleasure? Or was I doing everything in my power to help these disturbed souls go to the other side? Was that evil? Evil is generally considered the opposite of good, but then good can be described as the opposite of evil. Morality is a point of view created by humans and an artificial concept that wouldn't exist without intelligent humans that could name something evil or good.
I turned myself into a philosopher. I'm philosopher. Yeah.
That would be it for today. Thank you all for watching and stay tuned. I will be releasing even more mediocre videos in the future. Stay a productive citizen and try not to waste away your life in front of a screen. I'll see you in the next video.